What's going on, everybody? As most of you know, I've been taking a little bit of time away from the game lately. My real business has been struggling a little bit. I've been spending some time kind of getting that back on track and getting my real job in order so I could play some cards again. On top of that, I've got a job inside of poker but away from the tables. I'm now the commentator for the live stream of the OG Clubhouse's Wednesday Night Lights. Every Wednesday night I am laying down my color commentary and in-depth analysis. I'll provide a link down below in the description. Check that out if you're interested. We would certainly appreciate all the viewership, likes, subscribes that we could get. But back in October, the Barrel was running a series that I definitely put on my calendar and circled a date on. Last year, back in 2024, I ended up winning the Mystery Bounty event for about $15,000 between first place and all the bounties I collected. It was a $500 buy-in. It had a guaranteed prize pool, and there was quite an overlay. This year, they did not run a Mystery Bounty event, so I was not able to truly defend my title. But they did have a $300 buy-in Black Chip Bounty event, so I figured that was as close as I was going to get. Prize pool was a little bit smaller for this one, only $100 bounties, and first prize I think was right around $2,600. But, winning a tournament is always a good thing regardless of the size. So I took a shot at it back in October. I made a pretty good run at it. Spoiler alert, I did not take it down, but I had fun, and I documented my journey along the way, so check it out.
You're just bought into another dimension. A dimension not only of bad beats and busted draws, but of decisions so bizarre, they defy logic. You've crossed into a land where min raises spell doom, and a four-way all-in with queen high makes perfect sense. You've stepped out of reality and into the absurd, the unpredictable, the unexplainable. You've just pulled up a seat to the low-stakes zone.
In level 1, with blinds at 100, 200, 200, there are 3 limps in front of me, and I look down and see the ace-queen suited in the big blind. I definitely want to try to thin the field some, so I make it 900 to go. Only the button folds, so we're going to go 3 ways to a flop. Flop comes queen, 6 deuce with a couple of diamonds. It's always easier when you flop a piece. I lead out for 1300, and only the hijack looks me up. Deuce of clubs on the turn. I feel this is a pretty safe card for me, so I keep firing, this time about 40% pot. Again, the hijack looks me up. I think he's either got a worse queen than me or a diamond draw at this point. 5 of hearts on the river is a brick as far as I can tell. I'm going to target his weak value range and bet 1/3 pot. He thinks for a bit and flips in the call. I show and I'm good, so we're off to a good start. With blinds at 200, 400, 400, the cutoff limps in and I look down at aces. We're going to be playing for more. The big blind cold calls and the limper is in there as well. 3 ways to a 10-6 deuce rainbow flop. Everybody checks to me and I continue for 2200. Nobody has anything and I take it down. I do show the aces because I want them to fold to my bluffs later on. On to level 3. With blinds at 300, 600, 600, the cutoff and small blind limp in front of me, and I squeeze out a couple of ladies in the big blind.
Hello, ladies!
All the ladies I know like money, so we're going to play for 2500. Only the cutoff calls. 10-5 deuce with 2 hearts. Looks pretty safe to me, so I fire out for about half pot. The cutoff races me to 8500. What the hell? Is this ever a set? A flush draw? Can I make the maximum exploit and just fold here?
I don't think so, Tim.
I figure I'm only losing to sets, but I'm way ahead of his top pair and flush draw hands. We're gonna have to play for all of it. I jam, he calls and he shows me a set of deuces. Someone call 911. Queen on the turn and I get paroled. An inconsequential 3 on the end and I get a full double up. As someone once told me, if you want to do well in a tournament, you gotta win your all-ins. I went card dead for quite a while. Picked up some small pots to keep my stack level, but nothing major happened until this one with the blinds at 1k, 1500, 1500. I'm first to act and I look down at pocket kings. Let's see if I can avoid the ace-high flop. I make it 3500 to go and only the blinds come along. King, king, 5.
That'll do, pig. That'll do.
Flopping quads is always a good time, but it's going to be hard for anyone to have a piece. It checks all the way around. 6 of hearts on the turn and they both check to me again. The downside to playing with players that are fit or fold types is they really don't like to take a stab even when there's a good steal opportunity in front of them. I just have to hope one of them has something. I bet half pot and they both fold. I think it's state law that I have to show quads when I flop them, so I toss them onto the table. Not a big pot, but a no sweat win is always welcome. Half an orbit later and I'm in the low jack. Under the gun limps and I make it 4k with 10-9 of clubs. I'd like to thin the field with this hand. Apparently, everyone got a playable hand as the button, both blinds, and the limper all call, and we're going to go 5 ways to a flop. King 9-7 with 1 club. The blinds and the limper check. I check as well. There's a lot of cards on the turn that can help, and I'm hoping to catch something before I fire into 4 other people. The button checks 2, and the 5 of hearts is going to hit the turn. The small blind leads out for 3k, and the big blind calls. Under the gun folds. I probably should have just dumped it here, but it's hard to fold when I've got a healthy stack and I'm getting 9-1. I flip in the call and the button joins the party. 4 of clubs on the river and it checks around again. The button rolls over pocket 8s and I hopefully flip over my hand. The big blind says he's got the 9 and shows ace 9. A close second place for me, but there are no silver medals in poker. We're still in the 1k, 1500 level and I pick up 10s on the button. Middle position raises to 5k and I want to keep up the aggression and take control of the hand post flop. I 3-bet him to 11k. Only the middle position guy calls and we're going to go to the flop heads up. Ace 9 deuce with 2 hearts. He checks to me as I expect he would usually do with his entire range after getting 3-bet. I'm going to take one stab at this. I'll either pick it up now or hopefully just be able to get to showdown cheaply. I bet 13k and he thinks for a beat before flashing pocket jacks and folding.
Gotcha, bitch!
I say something about having ace-king while I stack at the pot, and happily take it down even though it didn't really belong to me. I probably would not have won this one if I didn't 3-bet pre-flop. Blinds are up to 1500, 2500, 2500. I still haven't collected any black chip bounties, but I only have to knock out one guy to win this whole thing. It folds around to me on the button and I pick up a suited ace-6. Not a monster, but playable against the blinds. I make it 5500 to go and only the big blind defends. Queen 8-3 with 2 clubs. This looks promising. Big blind checks to me and I bet for just under 1/3 pot. I don't think he's going to go anywhere for a single bet if he has any piece in such a wide configuration like this. I'm mentally preparing myself for a triple barrel if I miss. 5 of spades on the turn is not the black card I'm hunting for. If I want to have a chance to steal this on the river, I need to keep telling the story now. 11k this time after he checks. He ponders for a few seconds before sending his cards back into the muck. Adding 13.5k to my stack without making a hand makes me want to sing.
Sing! Stop that! You're not going to do a song while I'm here.
My stack is not growing much, and with the blinds continuing to go up, 75k isn't as impressive as it used to be a few hours ago. In this one, the low jack limps before I make it 7500 with jack 9 of hearts. The low jack checks dark, and the flop of 7 deuce deuce with 2 hearts rolls off. This hand really doesn't hit my range that well, and who knows what this guy is playing. I do have a flush draw, I don't want to get blasted off my equity, so I like to take a card and check it back. Turn is a 3 of hearts and he checks again. Range advantage or not, I have to bet my hand now that I made the flush. I try for a half pot size bet and he folds. The solver actually likes a 20 to 33% size here, and looking back on it that makes sense. He hasn't shown any strength, so he's probably not inclined to continue with much unless the price is really inviting. I know I'm not playing against a solver here, but according to GTO, if I bet 20% pot, he's supposed to float with all of his king-queen offsuit without a heart. But if I bet 50% pot, those hands always get folded. I have no idea if this guy would float a 20% bet with a hand like that, but it's a good concept to keep in mind. I add 14k to my stack and we're keeping it moving. Blinds are up again. 1500, 3k, 3k now. We're under the gun with 10s. Still sitting on 29 bigs, so no time to panic, but as a cash game player, I'm not my best with a stack of under 50 big blinds. This is my point of focus for the upcoming year, but that's a discussion for a different day. Right here in this moment, I make it 6k to go and only the big blind comes along. Queen, queen, deuce, rainbow. We both check. In hindsight, I really would have liked a small bet here, maybe 4,500. There are hands he can float me with. 7 of clubs on the turn is a complete nothing card. He checks again. I bet rather big, 7k and he folds. Again, I think a smaller size is right here, but I'm not going to argue with the results. The very next hand in the cutoff and small blind limp, and I look down at a king-queen offsuit in the big blind. I'm happy to check it here and see some cards. Ace, ace, king, rainbow. I don't like the ace, but I'd rather see 2 of them than just 1. Small blind checks. I don't see any point in betting right now. The cutoff leads out for 4,500 and the small blind gets out of the way. This is an easy call for me right here. Turn is the biggest brick of them all, deuce of hearts. I check, and this time he checks behind. Once he did this, I felt like I was best. I don't feel like he was getting trappy with a weak ace unless he happened to be playing ace deuce. River brings a 5 of spades. I'm going to trust my read that my king-queen is best and go for some value here. Hopefully he has a worse king-x. That's really the only hand I think that's going to pay me off regardless of sizing. I go for a third pot and bet 7k. He calls pretty quickly and asks if I have an ace. I show him the next best thing. If I can string together a few of these hands at the right time, I might be able to cash this thing. This hand wasn't much, but I wanted to include it because these are the spots I need to identify and be willing to put my tourney on the line if it's the right play. Blinds at 2k, 4k, 4k. Folds around to me on the button and I see a very playable king 10 of hearts. I make it 8k to go and the big blind ships his stack for 50k. His bet is 12.5 bigs and about half my stack. I tank and I tank. In the moment I felt like I was plenty deep, I could still wait for a better spot. The table really hadn't been super aggressive. If I caught a hand or two I could make a good run, so I didn't need to gamble half my stack on a hand that was flipping at best. Every solver I ran this through says this is a pure call every time, but I folded. I think there were about 11 players left and top 7 made the money, so there were some ICM implications. Tell me what you would have done in this spot. I'm honestly really curious to know. We made the final table. Time for a quick picture and we're back at it. I'm sitting on 13 bigs and I'm 7th in chips. Still no black chip bounties collected. First hand to the restart and I'm under the gun with pocket 8s. Here we go. I grip it and rip it and one by one everyone folds. This might just get through. Until the small blind rejams as one of the chip leaders. Cards are on their back and he has queens. Only fitting that I hit a key double up with the ladies early and now they're coming back to try to stop my run at a KPO trophy. I forgot to use my one time as the flop comes down Jack 9-5 with 2 spades. I have some funky backdoor straight draws, but we're still hoping for an 8. Turn is a deuce, so all the backdoors slam shut.
Come on, add to cart, dash now. Okay, please, just one driver. Ugh, no drivers in your area.
I look to see if I can get an 8 on DoorDash with fast delivery, but there are no drivers available. 7 on the end looked really spotty, and we come up a touch short, and we're out in 9th out of 50. And I did not collect a single bounty. Good game, everybody. Overall, I feel I did okay. There are a few spots I wish I could have back, obviously. I'm still trying to get better at tournament play. It's kind of a point of focus, and it will be going into 2026. Hopefully I can go to the World Series again like I did this last summer, and maybe make a run where I actually cash this time around. But I got to keep practicing and keep working on the parts of my game that aren't the strongest. Every time I go out there, I've just got to try to learn something new. I mean, it's just poker. How hard can it be?